Good morning again, my brothers and sisters. Just want to thank God again that God has afforded me this time just to come and share with you, based on our discussion the entire week. We're trying as much as we can to be able to answer the very questions of life. Woke up this morning feeling a little bit tired and a little bit cold, and it has reached a place whereby when you wake up feeling certain ways, you begin to ask yourself questions. Has something hit me? Has something come over my body? And you begin to, there is the stigma that comes with the declaration of certain things in your life. And there's a lot of fear that comes in the inside of you because you keep on wondering what has really happened. Where did this come from? And that's why I want us just to be able to answer these questions of life. And from the very first day, we try to answer the question, who am I? Who am I? Where do I find my identity? And then on the second day, we talked about where did I come from? Where am I from? And that points to your source. It points to your creation. And so therefore this day, by the grace of God, we want to answer the third question. Why am I here? Why am I here? This talks about your purpose. Why am I here? And we'll go back to the book of Ephesians chapter number 15, because that's our pilot verse here, because we need to know how we'll live. Ephesians chapter number 5, verse 15 to 16, again in the NIV version. The Bible says, be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Making the most of every opportunity. Why am I here? What is my purpose? The opportunities in life that God has afforded you. What have you done with them? Before we dive into this point, we need to make at least one caveat here, that in one sense, you are always living in God's purpose. And God is God, and He works all things, including your very own life, according to His own purpose. And nothing can be able to happen without God ordaining it. Nothing ever happens to God by surprise. Nothing ever happens behind the God that we are talking about. And the psalmist says in chapter number 57 of verse number 2, I cry out to God Most High, to God who fulfills His purpose for me. And this is key in understanding God's purpose for your life, because God has numbered your days and will fulfill every purpose that He has for you. However, our own choices and actions also really matter when it comes to fulfilling God's purpose here on earth. In some ways, this is a mystery that we can't fully understand, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not true. We can choose to do things that will bring us more joy and give us more of a sense of purpose, or we can be able to choose the contrary. So the question that every mature believer needs to ask himself or herself this very morning is, why are you here? Because I believe God never created you just to come and occupy space. God created you for an assignment. Why are you here? This is the time you need to be asking yourself, what is the meaning of life? What is my purpose in life? What can I be able to contribute in this world? And at times you go to an extent of even asking, will I ever be remembered of anything meaningful when I die? And these questions essentially ask the same thing. Why am I here? And it's a question that surfaces in different forms through the different stages in life that we live. It may be, what am I going to be when I grow up? Or it may take the form of, what should be my major? in my career, or the question could even be, am I happy with what I have done so far here on earth? Is my life worth what I have done so far? And in these varied forms, this may well be the number one question that haunts every human being that has been created in the image of God, asking themselves that very question: will I ever be remembered for anything significant in the years that I have lived? And sometimes the very question comes in moments of crisis, or moments of despair, or moments when we are in disdain, or when we are distraught. We ask ourselves those very questions. And in fact, the answers, some people give to these questions are a cause of despair, a cause of fear, a cause of pain. We have absolutely no direction of what is going on, and we keep on asking ourselves these very same questions. What is my purpose? That's the answer for why am I here? Because everything in life has a purpose. And everyone on this very planet was born with and for a purpose. It is this purpose that is the only true source of meaning. Without purpose, life is an experiment. It becomes a haphazard journey that results in frustrations and disappointments and failure, and feeling like you are unfulfilled in the inside of you, without really discovering what purpose is in your life. Without purpose, life becomes subjective. It's like a trial. It's like an error game that is ruled by environmental influences and the circumstances of that very moment. And likewise, as you think about purpose, you will understand that in the absence of purpose, time has absolutely no meaning. Energy has no reason, and life has no precision. You cannot be able to move as fast as you want to move without really discovering your purpose. And that's why I've got to answer this question today. Why am I here? What is my purpose? And so therefore, it's very essential. It's of necessity. It's significant that we understand and discover our purpose in life, so that by the end of it all, we can experience an effective, full, and rewarding life. Why am I here? Why are you here? You must understand, child of God, this morning, that the very purpose for your life is far greater than your own personal fulfillment, your peace of mind, or even your happiness. Your purpose in life is far greater than your family, your career, or even your wildest dreams and ambitions. The reason as to why I'm saying that is because if you want to know why you were placed on this planet, then you must begin with God. You were born by His purpose and for His purpose. That's Rick Warren who said this, that you were born by His purpose and for His purpose. I want you this morning to be able to understand that you were made by God and for God. In order for you to be able to fulfill this purpose, to be able to answer this question, why am I here? You must be cognizant of the fact that you were made by God and for God. And until you understand that, life will never make sense to you. It is only in God that we discover our origin, as we talked about it in day 2. It is only in God that we discover our identity. It is only in God that we discover our meaning. It is only in God that we discover our purpose. It's only in God that we discover our significance and our destiny. And every other path will lead to a dead end. So therefore, it's of importance that you discover your purpose in your Creator. Fortunately, there is an alternative to speculation about the meaning and purpose of life, and many of us talk about it in terms of revelation. You know, we can be able to turn to what God has revealed about life in His Word for us to be able to discover our purpose. But the easiest way to be able to discover the purpose of an invention is to ask the creator of that particular invention. And the same is true for discovering your life purpose. Ask God, what is your purpose? Why are you here? It's very interesting because God wants to, use you to make a difference here on earth and in this world. He wants to work through you. And what matters really is not your duration of life here on earth, but what matters really is your donation while you're here on earth. It's not about how long you've lived. It's not about your longevity. It's all about what have you left behind after you have lived your life. I want you to understand you are not only created by God and for God, but you are also designed for your purpose. Listen to me, child of God. There is a grand designer behind everything here on earth. Your life is not a result of a random chance. Your life is not a result of fake or luck. There is a master plan behind your life, and every day of your life was written on God's calendar. Before you were even born, everything that happens to you has a spiritual significance. Everything, and I mean everything that happens in your life has a spiritual significance. Nothing in your life is arbitrary. It's all for purpose. And before God created you, He decided what role He wanted you to play while you're here on earth. He planned exactly how He wanted you to be able to serve Him, and then He shaped you for those particular tasks, and He put natural abilities in you that are innate so that you can be able to function in accordance to your design. God formed every creature on this very planet with a special area of expertise. And that's why, as a born-again believer, you should never be in competition with the other person that you are together with. Every one of us is a child of purpose. Every one of us was born for a purpose. Your race is not my race. Your purpose is not my purpose. So focus on what God called you to do and answer the question, why am I here? You are not an assembly line product, Rick Warren says. You are not an assembly line product, a mass produced without thought. You are a custom designed, one of a kind, original masterpiece. And that's why you are here. I need to repeat that. You are not an assembly line product, mass produced without thought. When God decided to create you and brought you here on earth, He actually knew that it is your purpose that initiates production. And when God decided what you will do here on earth, He began to work on you and produce you. Listen to me, child of God. You were not only designed for your purpose, but again, knowing your purpose prepares you for eternity. Knowing your purpose prepares you for eternity, because many people, and even right now with this very pandemic, they spend their lives trying to create a lasting legacy here on earth. They want to be remembered when they are gone. Yet, what ultimately matters most will not be what others will say about your life, but what matters most is what God will say concerning your life. You can fulfill your own purpose here on earth, but what God is interested with is His original purpose for your life. When you fulfill His original purpose for your life, then that makes sense in the eyes of God. You must understand, child of God, that living to create an earthly legacy is a short-sighted goal. A wiser use of time is to build an eternal legacy. You weren't put here on earth to be remembered. You were put here on earth to prepare for eternity. Life on earth is just the dress rehearsal before the real production. And you will spend far more time on earth, on the other side of death, more than here on earth. You will spend more time in eternity than you will spend time while you're here. At most, you will live 70 to 100 years while you're here on earth, but you will spend forever in eternity. So when you fully comprehend that there is more to life than just here and now, you will realize that life is just preparation for eternity. You will then, therefore, begin to live differently. You will begin to live with eternity in mind. You will start living in light of eternity, and that will color how you handle every relationship, how you handle the tasks that have been assigned to you, how you handle the circumstances that you find yourself in, and suddenly many activities and many goals and even problems that seemed so important will appear very trivial and petty and unworthy of your attention. Why? Because the closer you live to God, the smaller everything else appears. Purpose, child of God, therefore, is the original intent in the mind of the Creator that motivated Him to create a particular item. It is the why that explains the reason for your existence. And every product is a child of purpose. In other words, before any product is made, there is a purpose that has to be established in the mind of the manufacturer that gives conception to the idea that becomes the substance of the design and then production of that particular product. So purpose will always precede production. Every product that is produced, I want to reiterate again, that every product that is produced by purpose for a purpose is supposed to fulfill that which God intended that it should fulfill. And that's why you're here, child of God. You exist here on earth for an original purpose. And that's why you only are able to find fulfillment when you are performing the purpose for which you were created. Until you discover that very purpose, child of God, existence has got absolutely no meaning. Life will become a rehearsal. You must understand what is the original reason for why you were created. You were created for a purpose. You were created to fulfill something. You were created to be here on earth to achieve a particular goal here on earth. You are not a mistake. You are not an accident. You are not an innovation of science. You are a child of God. You are not a mistake, I'll repeat again, but you are a child of God. The moment you landed here on earth, purpose was released for you. You cannot be alive right now if God hasn't really allowed you to fulfill what you need to fulfill. There is purpose in you, child of God. That's how you answer the question, why are you here? Have you been able to discover the original reason why you were born? If you have done so, what are you doing about it? If you have not done so, can you please sit down and go back to God and ask God this question? Why am I here? Why did you create me? Why am I in this family? Why am I in this job? Why am I doing this business? Why is so-and-so my friend? Why is so-and-so close to me? What is their purpose in my life? Ask yourself that question. Why are you here? I believe the Lord has blessed you so much. And I desire that you join me again tomorrow. And as we continue to answer the questions of life. And I believe by the end of this week, you'll be able to sit down and talk to God really. And really ask yourself questions. That today, if God switches off your light, will you have fulfilled His purpose here on earth? Think about it. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same hour, same channel. Share with as many people as you can so that all of us can answer these questions of life and ultimately live a fulfilled life. You're the blessed of the Lord. See you tomorrow.